Border Update, May 15th, 2023. This video will cover end of Title 42, differences between Title 42 and Title 8 processing, crossing without a CBP-1 appointment. Title 42 is over. Now what? Until May 11th, 2023, the United States had a policy that shut the door on asylum seekers due to the COVID pandemic. That now expired policy is known as Title 42. The official ports of entry were closed. If individuals crossed the river, they could be quickly expelled without any impact on pursuing asylum in the future. Under Title 42, people could make many attempts to enter the U.S. because an expulsion under Title 42 did not stay on your record. However, this has changed. Any entry to the U.S. can now have consequences on your asylum case. Now that Title 42 has expired, people who enter the U.S. seeking asylum will be processed under Title 8. Title 8 is not new. It is the policy that was in place before the Trump administration implemented Title 42. It's important to remember that being deported under Title 8 is very different from being expelled under Title 42, because a deportation will stay on your record. What does switching from Title 42 to Title 8 processing mean? Two important things to know about Title 8 processing, which replaced Title 42 expulsions. 1. Unlike Title 42, under Title 8, individuals should be given an opportunity to express their fear of return to their home country or any other country where the U.S. might try to deport you, like Mexico. But 2. Unlike Title 42, under Title 8, if an individual cannot establish eligibility for asylum, they can be deported, which carries a 5-year ban on returning to the U.S. If an individual does return, they can be criminally prosecuted for illegal re-entry. Title 42 has also been replaced by a new, different rule called the transit ban that severely restricts who can qualify for asylum. The objective of this new rule is to force people to use the CBP-1 app. However, this app is not a real option for many people, due, for example, to technical issues or urgent medical or safety issues in Mexico. If you are unable to use the CBP-1 app, you may consider presenting yourself at a port of entry without an appointment. What should I know if I'm thinking about crossing the border without a CBP-1 appointment? The key question to ask before deciding whether to go to a port of entry to cross into the United States without a CBP-1 appointment is, do I want to risk making it harder to stay long-term in the U.S., even if I may be able to cross faster this way? If your goal is to make a protection claim that includes asylum, that will be very difficult unless you have a strong excuse for not making a CBP-1 appointment that the U.S. government accepts, like a medical emergency or safety threat. If you are blocked from asylum because the government rejects your excuse, you could be held at the border for fast deportation. Even if you may be able to stay in the U.S., that will likely only be for a period of 1 year, and if you don't qualify for other types of protection, the government could then make you a priority for deportation. People with appointments through the CBP-1 app do not face the same challenges. What is supposed to happen if I choose to present at a port of entry? If you go to a port and are processed by border officials, the best case scenario is that you are given the opportunity to enter the U.S., typically for a period of 1 year, where you can apply for asylum and work authorization. If not, you will be required to go through a credible fear process in which an asylum officer will interview you about your fear. If you are a single adult, this interview could happen quickly while you're in CBP custody within 3 days. You are supposed to have the opportunity to speak with a lawyer. If you are traveling in a family unit, parents with minor children, you may be released, but the head of household could be given an ankle monitor and a curfew and told when to report back for an interview. If you cannot establish a credible fear of being persecuted or tortured, you will be deported to your home country. If you are Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, or Venezuelan, you could also be deported back to Mexico, and in that case, should have a chance to explain if you're afraid to be returned there too. If you decide to go to the port of to the port without a CBP-1 appointment, you may wish to 1. Take evidence that shows you have an excuse for not making a CBP-1 appointment. Some of the excuses that should be accepted are: if you do not speak English, Spanish, or Creole, if you can't read, if there was a technical failure, or if there was another serious and ongoing obstacle that prevented you from making an appointment with CBP-1, if you or someone in your group is experiencing extreme circumstances at the time of entry, including facing an acute medical emergency, or imminent and extreme threat to life or safety, or being a victim of trafficking. 2. Write the phone number of a contact in the United States on your arm, since your phone and documents will be confiscated while you are being processed by border officials. 3. Send copies or photos via WhatsApp or text all of your important documents to a contact in the United States in case they are not returned. It is also important to know that CBP has been turning some people away who do not have CBP-1 appointments and not allowing them to be processed, even though they are legally required to process asylum seekers now that Title 42 has ended. In solidarity, al otro lado.